Hi Naomi's, sorry. Hi Naomi, Suzanne from Naomi's Home Health. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I really am excited to talk about this subject with you today, and it's about women and healing each other. So, probably 99% of people in this group are women. And I wanted to dive in about how we can utilize each other to progress our healing. For me, women were the reason that I got to where I am now. Women behind me, supporting me, giving me power, empowering me, and learning so much from these women. So what I want to touch on, how women used to be. Like for centuries, women used to gather together in circles, in groups, whatever you want to call them, and the women of the tribes, the village, again, whatever you want to call it, were the healers of that community. So the women used to gather, nurture each other, talk about things. Men used to gather together too, but we were there to heal the community and naturally do that by talking, by using natural medicines and helping each other. I've done this, what have you done? And there was always somebody facilitating those groups, circles, gatherings, whatever it is that you like to say. So we have come so far away from that in society today. We don't gather together in circles to talk about nurturing and healing and our problems or where we can go from. It's very much a dependent society on the medical system. Medical system is great for medication, great for results. But to get that support, like you're only at a doctor for 10 to 15 minutes, they can't give you what you need. So for someone that you can talk to that is in the same boat as you or has been in the same boat as you, very, very powerful. So I want to talk about my experience, which, let me know if this resonates with you. Pop in the comments like, yeah, that is how women used to be, or give me if it's something that struck a chord with you, give me a little wave. If you're watching this on replay, type in #replay. I want to know if this is something that resonates with you, because it didn't resonate with me. I can tell you that right now. I was very much sitting in my masculine energy, and believe it or not, we need that balance. There's nothing wrong with being a masculine woman, but we do need that feminine, nurturing energy to help us, and balance is everything in life. Balance of food, balance of, emotions, balance. We need to balance masculine and feminine. So, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I had a very close friend of mine introduce me to a women's circle. And it was not something I was interested in at the time, but I did have a lot of belief in my friend, Lana Jackson, and I just thought I'd sit on one of the circles and just see what it might provide for me or what it's all about or whatever. So I sat in on one of the circles and I didn't know any of the women except for Lana. There was maybe half a dozen women, maybe a bit more in this circle, and it was on Zoom. And I just sat there listening to them with their breakthroughs and their challenges and supporting each other. Not one woman was judged. Every woman was in love and honored. It was absolutely amazing. And I'm like, you know what? I don't ever have this. Like, I've got a lot of really good friends that I've had since I was, 4 and 5 years old, and they are there for me. But in this kind of space, in this healing, where you need to unplug a lot of stuff, I didn't kind of have that. And I could not believe that I didn't even know these women, and I spoke a little bit, and it was really, really nerve-wracking, but it was like no one's judging me. It was so hard to say what I wanted to say, and I got better at it over time. But after that day, I was like, you know what, I'm doing this. And every week we would have a topic, and we would, discuss that, and it'd just pull out all this stuff that I had suppressed, pushed down, ignored for years and years and years. And this is not something I expected the circle to give me. It is not something I wanted to delve into by myself. I didn't know I was going to get all of this, and I would never have done this on my own. I would never ever have dived into what we did on my own, and I would never have got through it on my own. And listening to their shares and their breakthroughs taught me so much. I was like, you know what, me too. Oh, and we formed amazing friendships and bonds, and I'm still friends with these women, and new women came into the circle, and we formed bonds with them, and we met them as if they were old sisters that we'd had for years and years and years. So I just found, through Circle, I found a lot of emotional healing. I learned about chakras. I learned about energy, so much. And I got to share some of my knowledge with these women as well. So they may have learned from me. I'm sure they did. I was in the nutrition and the physical aspect. I was doing the nutrition and the non-toxic stuff. And I was still stuck and plateauing, and I couldn't work out why. I was like, you know what, I'm eating. I can't eat any better, and I can't do any better with, patient or toxic or anything like that. The physical side, I felt like I couldn't do any better, but it was the emotional side and that support. The support is everything. I wasn't getting it at home. I had some from my parents, but they can only offer you a parental support that you get from other women in the same sort of state that you're in. Not all of them were in the same state as me, but some of them had a lot of healing to do, emotionally, physically, all of that. So it was so eye-opening. And when I look back now of what we worked through and what we did, it was like, wow. So this is why I have created a safe space. So there's 2 of them. One is going to run on Tuesday, the 4th of October at 10:30 a.m. for 6 weeks. Another space is going to run every Wednesday night for 6 weeks from the 5th of October at 7:30. Now, I have made sure that places, areas in the US and UK and New Zealand would be able to join in. So if you can look at the time difference, this is Sydney time, Australian Eastern Standard Time, you will be able to join in. It would just be nighttime where you are or daytime where you are. But what I've created this for is for you to get out of a women's healing space, what I got out of it. Because the plateau that I had from the physical healing, I wasn't going anywhere, and it really, really addressed how much I needed to learn and grow and develop and empower myself. I was, in a home where there was no support and no understanding and just a lot of resentment. So for me to have something else from a group of women was one of the most healing things that has ever happened on this journey for me. So this is where I found my little yellow pill. So these women are sharing things that are helping them as well. So I got so much education on health that it's unbelievable. The energy, what I was keeping myself in, I was suppressing a lot of stuff. And for these women to be able to bring that out of me was next level. So, I've got a comment here. I can't see the comments. I just don't know why. Oh, Rochelle. Hello, beautiful lady. Yeah, it just brought out so much for me. So I want to offer that for you, where we have 6 women in a space plus me. I'm going to be your guide. We're going to topic each that, I know that very little of you are working on, like maybe 1% of you are working on these things, and it's going to be in in stages of how you grow. So the topics are an integral part of your healing. So we are going to dive into these topics each week while supporting each other and being supported. You won't do it on your own. These are not topics that you will dive into on your own. These are topics that you're going to need some support. It's going to be much easier with other women around you doing the same thing, and you're going to feel like, not by yourself. You're going to feel, am I doing it right? Am I doing it? Oh, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to go there because it's going to be too much for me. But when you have other women doing it with you, you feel safer. You feel like you can go there. Because I didn't ever want to go there. Emotions and energy to me was like, I don't have any of that. It doesn't exist, and I'm fine. I'm not the emotional one. I'm not the one who doesn't deal with my emotions. And when you are like that, it's what causes this volcano effect. You just get this bubbling underneath the surface, and it just will explode one day. And it might be in an autoimmune disease. It might be in depression, anxiety. There's a lot that goes on under the surface for you that you are probably not acknowledging. So this is why I want to bring that out, but I want to be here to hold you while you do that, to show you that I've done it. I've done that work, and I'm still going to work on it, and I'll work on it at the same time. We are going to do it together, because there's nothing wrong with always revisiting these topics, or revisiting, because we're always growing. So we're always going through something, like I'm going through a divorce at the moment. So some of these topics I need to revisit so I can, maybe go, oh, you know what? I haven't touched on that for a while and I need to work on that. Or how can I bring this out of me? How can I stop pushing that away or pushing it down? And I'm going to learn from it, and I'll learn from you and you'll learn from me. So I have put the link to the circle in the comments, in the, description. And I'll put it in the comments as well. It is going to be a really, really huge healing tool for you. This is a massive healing tool. This is going to be something where you will do it with other people. When you do your nutrition or whatever, you generally do that by yourself, and you work on it by yourself, and you work on a lot by yourself. You're not going to be alone. You're going to have us supporting you, and we are going to get into areas that you're not going to get into on your own. So if you need any more information about what it is, you want to ask questions, please pop them in the comments. Send me a message. That is what I'm here for. We are here to learn, empower ourselves. We want to create trust, acceptance. I want you guys to feel like I do now, because I didn't feel like this for a long time. I didn't think I would ever get out of the place I was in, because there was no end in sight for me. And when I was getting pushed away by the medical system and being told it was just all in my head, I just thought, well, who else is going to help me? There's nobody else in this world that's going to help me. I've been in thyroid groups like this and other natural healing groups, and they have a lot of programs that you can do, but none where you support each other in this space privately with a few people going through the same thing at the same time. I have not seen this in other groups. So it is a unique offer for you. And if you don't, if we fill up the 2 sessions, the waiting list, because I am going to do more. I'm going to run these consistently for you so you can have this available to you on a regular basis. So let me know if there's anything you need to know. Message me, pop it in the comments, and let's get started to support each other and grow and learn from each other.